In January, I shared with you guys my London Marathon training shoe rotation. That stuck through February, but as we approach March, there have been some wholesale changes. So today, with 7 weeks left, we're going to be diving in and showcasing what they are. So welcome back to another video. My goal for today is to share with you guys the updated running shoe rotation as we approach the last 7 weeks of London. There are some shoes here that have been shelved because I've reached a certain mileage target. There are some that have been shelved because I just don't enjoy them anymore. And there are others that have just been switched out because my runs have changed and therefore I need a slightly different shoe to cater for that type of run. I'll explain everything now. We'll start off with the easy shoes and work our way right through all the way up to the long distance shoes. So the first change is going to be from the Nova Blast version 3. In the first section of marathon training, I use this very much for easy day running. I've got to 100 miles, and if you've seen the last video on the channel, you'll know that I just don't want to use it anymore. So I've got a few options that I'm swapping to. I'll show you the 3 of them that I'm still debating. There's going to be the Guide 17 from Saucony. Only got 2 runs in it so far, but loving it. And again, same with the Velocity Nitro 3. Both of these shoes, I really do feel like I should give them more miles. They've gone through their initial testing and they've just sat there waiting for me to do some more stuff in them. But the one that is probably going to get the nod, at least for the first 2 or 3 weeks, is the Ride 17. I am going to hold it like this because it was used this morning. It is caked in mud, but this thing already had 55, 57 miles in it before this morning, and it now has 65 miles. So this one is nearing the 100-mile mark. But to be honest with you, this is one of those shoes that I just want to use for more than 100 miles. It really is a really good shoe. Very comfortable. As I said, a better version of the Triumph. The Triumph just had too much of a drop, 10 millimeters. This one's much more natural for me. Same midsole foam, very comfortable upper. Works really well, even if you want to pick up the pace for moderate running. So it has a little bit more versatility about it than what the Nova Blast did. So yeah, those 3 shoes at the moment are going to be the ones that I'm switching to for my easy days. And the next shoe in that original batch was indeed the Ride 17. So we'll keep this short and sweet. I was using it for moderate running at the time, but as I said, I'm probably going to just downgrade it slightly to easy running, and there's another shoe very shortly that I'm going to show you that will share some of the moderate miles with this one. And the Brooks Hyperion Max was next in my list. Now this one isn't going anywhere. This is very much staying in the rotation, but it will have some miles shared with it. So it is up to nearly 200 miles now. This one is absolutely charging full steam ahead because it's just one of those shoes that I love. You guys know I bought a second pair for this specific reason. To train for London, this does everything I want it to. But the one that's going to come in and help share some of those miles is indeed the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. Now I took this out, or I did the original review, got a couple of runs in it, and then I've since taken it out for a medium long run or a longer moderate run, and it was just really good. Now I think, I'm going to put my neck out there, I think they've sorted the heel issue. A lot of you commented on the previous video about the Speed 4 and does it still have the heel rubbing issue. I experienced it, a lot of you did. I've got 3 runs in it now and I've not had any issues whatsoever. And I was in this thing for 80 minutes. I've already done a 90-minute run and it is just very comfy. I feel like if they have made that tweak and it does continue not to cause me any grief, then although it is very minor updates from version 3, this one I would now recommend because it seems to have, fingers crossed, eliminated that heel rubbing issue. So this is definitely going to come in, take some of the moderate miles, hence the Saucony Ride. That will continue, but that's why I'm downgrading it. If I move that to easy, this can come in and take some of the moderate stuff and maybe some of the workouts as well. And these were the 2 other shoes that I was using in that initial first phase of the marathon training block, the Kinvara 14 and the On Cloudboom Echo 3. This is going to be staying, this is going to be going. For no reason than, as I alluded to in the intro, there are some runs now that I'm doing that need more volume, a little bit more time on feet, and this shoe doesn't really cater for that. So for me, this has been the most enjoyable short, fast interval style workout shoe, and I was using it a lot on the trails when I was alternating 1 trail workout, 1 road workout. This was actually picking up the trail stuff. A bit of concrete as well, of course, but it just handled those buffed out trails really nicely. But I'm not using them now in these final 7 weeks. We're getting specific, so the need for this one is no longer. However, I have enjoyed the On Cloudboom Echo 3 so much, and I just appreciate, as I've mentioned in a previous previous video, how On pay attention to those little details. They just make darn good shoes, and although I feel this one doesn't quite cut it when it comes to the faster racing shoes, I do feel like the next percent, the Alpha Fly from Nike, the Pro 4 I'm even going to say from Saucony, the Elite from Saucony, those ones really are in a realm of their own. For me, this has just been such a good long distance training shoe. 70 miles in it, produced a 100-mile review, and that one is sticking around. And there's two more to be introduced. This one is going to come into play, and this is indeed the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. So this will match up with the On Cloudboom Echo 3, and these two will share the runs. I love them both, so I'm probably going to alternate each week. If you've seen my initial review of this, you noticed that there was one big issue with this shoe, and that was the big blister I got on my toe. Bit of heel movement, a bit of forefoot toe movement, too much rubbing around in the shoe. It just meant that sadly, it wasn't quite perfect, and I actually dropped a video on the Extra channel. If you've seen it, fantastic. If not, head over there, subscribe, watch that. I gave you guys an update because I've relaced the shoe with some Next Percent 2 laces to see if that made a difference. Spoiler alert, it didn't make too much difference, but I did get another workout in the shoe, and my word, this thing is fast. This is everything I wanted it to be, and someone commented, so close to being perfect. That is the best way I can sum this shoe up, so close to being perfect. And if I'm honest with you, although I didn't get any rubbing or any heel issues in version 3, I would rather run in this one if I can somehow get that sorted, because this feels fast and more aggressive to me. So very, very exciting. This is another one going into rotation, and there's just one more to share with you. And that is this one, the Nike Vaporfly 3. I'm bringing this one back into the rotation for the final 7 weeks. So yes, there are 3 carbon plated super shoes in here. The first two I showed you, the Pro 3 and the On Cloudboom Echo 3, those are going to be reserved for the midweek workouts, and I'm going to alternate those. I'm going to reserve this one now for those long marathon runs. So I have a long marathon run this weekend, marathon pace stuff. This thing is going to take it. So in my last block, I used the Next Percent 2. I've got a few pairs of those kicking around. A lot of them, the mileage is creeping up. And the reality was, when I bought this shoe and started testing it and stuff, again, it was a great shoe. It is a great shoe. It's very lightweight, very nimble, and it works for me. It fits well. Everything about it's good, but it just doesn't quite have the same effect that the version 1 had. They have made some good changes to it, but I do feel they're safe changes. They've made the shoe a bit safer, wider. It is nice and soft like version 1, but I don't feel it's quite got that bounce back that we got from it. The responsiveness is just lacking a tiny bit. Having said that, it's still a blooming good shoe. I have raced in it. I've put a couple of good races in it now, and it is really, really good. So this thing is now going to finally come back into play, and this one is going to take those long runs. So there we go. That's my updated marathon training shoe rotation for the final 7 weeks leading into London. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. I didn't think I'll be sticking 3 super shoes in there, but they do have different purposes. So as I said, the Pro 4 and the Cloudboom Echo 3, that'll be the workouts, the Vaporfly 3 for the long runs, but the rest of them, all really good selections. I'm very happy with it, and fingers crossed, these are all shoes that work for me, and they will hopefully keep me injury free leading into London like the first batches of shoes have. I'd love to hear what your shoe rotation is right now leading into your spring marathon. Drop a comment below. It'd be great to hear from you. What are your favorites? What hasn't quite worked for you? What are you looking forward to getting this spring? Plenty of good new shoes coming out over the next couple of months. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on those as well. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you on the next one.